That's Tav Falco from his new album Desire on Ice, a collection of some of Tav's finest songs reinterpreted in new and unlikely ways, with help from friends like Kid Congo Powers, Charlie Musselwhite, Chris Spedding, Nicole Atkins, and Bobby Gillespie, to name just a few. Recorded in Memphis at Sam Phillips Studio with longtime collaborator Mario Monteroso, Tav calls these tracks interpretations of significance. We found Tav at home in Thailand, where he was keen to talk about music, politics, and Kim.com.
Well, you know, I'm interested in New Zealand over the phenomena in the not too distant past of Kim.com.
Right. He's still here, I think. I don't think they got him yet.
I'm so glad they didn't get him and that the CIA and the FBI...
He was sitting behind me at a concert.
Really?
Yeah.
His story is a little tragic.
Yep, it is.
Is an inspired, innocent person.
Uh-huh.
Embracing technology, embracing communication, embracing new forms of expanded consciousness, to use a 1960s term.
Right.
And then the sad dissolution of his family in the face of government restriction and invasion of his life and his enterprises.
Yeah.
Those kinds of enterprises take off and explode, and it's, I think, not easy to control them. And if you're a person like Kim.com, you're not so interested in control.
Right.
You're interested in the opposite.
Yep. But there were powers that be that didn't like that idea.
He had a beautiful family.
Yeah.
Beautiful life. I hope it can be reconciled at some point. In fact, I have Kim.com cited in one of my songs.
Oh, which one is it?
Cabaret of Daggers.
Oh, Cabaret of Daggers.
My previous album.
I don't have the... What do I got? Shadow Dancer. I've got a... Oh, here it is.
Yeah, take a look on the back. Can you read to me, please, Marty, those?
Sure. There's Nobody's Baby, Sally Go Around the Rosies, Old Fashioned Morphine, Strange Fruit, New World Order Blues.
That's it, New World Order Blues.
That sounds like it would be.
Tim.com.
Right.
And how the FBI can't shut him down.
Right.
And I know they were after him through the New Zealand authorities.
Yep. They shouldn't have let them in, but there you go.
There's a whole stanza in that song.
Oh, yeah, give it a listen. That's cool.
About Kim.com.
The law tried to drop a bomb on Kim.com, but the FBI will never bring him down. It's a mega .com world, giving birth to megaton bombs. Kim.com will elude extradition like Snowden and Assange. Freedom of information, it ain't no crime. The New World Order.
New World Order Blues.
All right.
From the new album.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we have anything quite as politically inflammatory.
Right.
Or incendiary, because these are mostly introspective, personal type songs dealing with my autobiographical in nature, dealing with the pageantry of my own existence.
Right. So I got my initial question is, why did you want to re-record these songs? Because you could have just put together a greatest hits kind of compilation and probably been a lot easier. And you've got like 30 people playing on this thing. It's quite an achievement.
Well, I've done 2 compilations.
Right.
The best of on New Rose Records came out, say, midpoint in my career. And then a thing that came out called Hip Flask, which was a patched together thing. Those kinds of compilations have little significance in my mind.
Gotcha. Okay.
So our producer, lead guitarist Mario Monteroso, who's produced all of my albums since 2014, when we met in Rome,
right,
has had the notion for quite a long time of taking all the original songs from my oeuvre and interpret those in new and unlikely ways according to themes, and not only musical themes, but contextual themes, new interpretations.
Right.
And that makes sense to me because now we come out with interpretations of significance. And that's mainly what we are in my music, are interpreters.
Right.
Not only of personal outlook and perceptions, manifested in genres over time. And we have not revived those. We were never a part of the revival movement. Where it's coming from, it's imprecise. It's a combination, a pastiche of several forms coming together and deconstructed in such a way that there's a freshness, there's an unexpected quality, something that you weren't counting on, and all of a sudden you're hearing it. And there can be a sense of wonderment. We've been greeted with howls of contempt on the one hand and squeals of ecstasy on the other. We create a record, we release that to the public. As with Desire on Ice, the new album, it is no longer ours. It is a permanent record now, and it belongs to the public.
Gotcha.
And reviewers often speak for those who are listening.
Right.
Or try to guide them toward what they might want to hear and how they might want to hear it. And what it is, in fact, they're hearing in terms of the background, in terms maybe what this music represents to a broader audience. But critics have their place.
Well, that's good to know.
and they can do a lot of damage.
Sure.
And they can do a lot of very positive revelation. Money can't buy what they see.
So I'm curious, when you revisit these songs, how do you personally approach them again? Do you try to put yourself back to where you wrote them and first recorded them? Do you try to add something? Are they different for you now than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago, longer?
As the author, revisit this work, you cannot escape the original milieu of the song. You might try, but you can't, and not in good conscience you do it. So you take that moment as if it were a photograph. And photographs are a dead thing. They capture a moment, and from then on, that moment lives in a state of thanatos. It's frozen. And recorded work in music is much the same. In fact, this entire album is a collection of snapshots. But I'm looking at those pictures and I'm looking at those songs in today's world and with my psychology of today, how I exist right now, and all the musical influences that have come and gone in my mind, in my psyche, those that have lingered, and those that make sense in reimaging these songs, because the lyrics, the original music is a starting point, and I am faithful to the lyrics of the original verses. The music has changed in part.
Right.
It has been re-imaged, reimagined, and the delivery of the material vocally and mentally reflects where I'm at today. So one can go back and listen to the originals. You have that option now.
Sure. Yeah.
And then listen to the new treatment the contemporary treatment, new as of last year when it was recorded,
Right.
and frozen in time,
Yep.
and compare the two. And the focus, there's a different focus.
Okay.
We're going to come in focus on a different plane.
And there's a song, Gentleman in Black, which is near the front of the record that I think he recorded several times over. Why do you keep coming back to that?
Well, it's the most blatantly autobiographical piece.
Okay.
Yeah, I recorded it live. First recorded it in New Orleans
Right.
in a garage studio with Alex Chilton.
Was that the one that showed up on here?
Yeah, Disappearing Angels.
That's the one.
That's the first treatment, which is very lo-fi.
Pimps and hustlers are his audience by choice. Though their clients never seem to hear his voice. His tones start to relax, still it sounds like a dad. And sometimes it cracks, but he just don't care. Leave the people hanging to just sit and stare at a moment of brilliance in a lifetime of despair.
Now I go back and I hear that record, and there's an authenticity.
Right.
There's a sonic gradient that speaks for itself, way like an unmanipulated photograph right out of the camera. Then you come to the guitar playing of Alex
Right.
on the record,
Yeah.
which is phenomenal, but in a very discreet way. He is playing an old Mosrite guitar he bought in a pawn shop in Memphis. He didn't change the strings on it. The strings had already been on the guitar, it looked like, for a millennium.
Right.
So they were all rusty and strange. The guitar was not intonated. And at that time, he was playing with me in a very quiet way, much unlike his early playing with my band,
Right.
Panther Burns, which was on a big Gibson 335 hopped up guitar, which was a really wailing guitar. But at this time in 1996, his psyche had changed considerably from those early exuberant, unbridled days of the reinvention of incendiary rock and roll.
Right. I think Alex played here in Auckland around the same time. I saw him here, and it was just a solo show with him and his guitar, and it was very similar to what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him do that show in Paris too. The notes he chooses to play and those he chooses not to play, and the spaces between those notes. I can't stop listening to it. Yeah, the tango, Hiss of Fire.
Yes, Kiss of Fire is the next one. Yep.
I don't think there's a more authentic guitar solo in American music this side of John Fahey
All right.
that Alex has delivered on that track.
Well, so you've got Jimmy Rip playing on the version that's on Desire on Ice. So did you have any kind of expectations of what he was going to bring to it, the version of Gentleman in Black?
Yes, because he came to an audition for my band in New York, 1983,
Right.
at the rehearsal studio in the East Village. So Jimmy Rip came, Chris Spedding also came, and he played pretty well. And I admired both of them, their guitar playing, because at the time Jimmy Rip was playing with Holly and the Italians.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
in
remember
the
them.
East Village. Turned out that Chris Spedding was not interested in doing a live show.
Okay,
He was more interested in producing the band.
gotcha.
They were both outstanding. Both of these guitarists were outstanding in the audition. So Jimmy got the job, and he was in the band 3, 4, 5 months maybe, touring with us. A remarkable guitarist, very melodic. Didn't quite get some of the Memphis rockabilly, hillbilly stuff I was into at the time, which was
Right.
only a part of our music at the time, but
Gotcha.
was an influence and a part that I wanted to do justice to
Sure.
in an authentic way, in our deconstructed, fractured interpretation of it. I didn't want to revive it, but it had to have elements of truth and accuracy from that genre. Otherwise, we're just ancient, wonderful American musicians created that I did not want to violate, and I wanted to do justice to, but I did not want to copy.
Gotcha. Yep.
So I wanted to make sure that Jimmy, for his own work and for ours, and for the artists in Memphis and elsewhere in the South who forged this genre of music, were done justice to. So I had to work with Jimmy, just allow himself to be an animal on some of these tracks that a sophisticated musician has difficulty coming to terms with.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Everything else he did brilliantly.
Okay.
In the end, I think Jimmy got on top of it with us.
That's good news. Huh? Now, we mentioned at the beginning of the conversation about topical music and current events and political things aren't really on the record, but there's Doomsday Baby is here, and that's
that's
got one. That's pretty. And you got Bobby Gillespie on there, and Jim.
That's of highly political import. I thought there was one record.
Yeah, right in the middle of it.
Track on the record. That was incendiary, and we stand behind that 100%.
Then we have sucked the cock of arrogance. We're the master race and they're insects, baby. They're insects, baby. It's Doomsday, baby.
Those people are worthless scum, except for the maritime rights they own. They're easy to steal from. They deserve no rights of their own. Only reason we're fighting this war, after all, is for gas and oil off their shore. Wipe them out. Winter days on. On my first record, I wore on the record cover Portrait, the first album that Jeff Travis put out. Behind the Magnolia curtain, I'm wearing the Leninist lapel pin and the capitalist necktie cravat.
Right.
So I recreated that photo in June.
Oh.
Here for PR photograph to go out with the record.
Okay.
Well, come to find out, the publicist pulled back on that picture, didn't tell me, because of the sickle and hammer lapel pin I had. And I wrote back to him, the sickle and hammer is only on the lapel and in a size larger than even I wanted, because the original Lenin lapel pin I had misplaced and I couldn't find a replacement here.
Right.
It was smaller, more discreet. But on top of that, I would have preferred the Trotskyite pin. And I went on to explain that, and as Mario Monteroso pointed out, it's a paradox, Tav, that you've got the sickle and hammer on your lapel and the capitalist necktie around your neck. I wrote back, yes, Mario, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
The absurdity of these two ideologies.
Yeah.
And how, taken to the extreme, they both meet in the same authoritarian place. And I went on to say that I am known as a utopian anarchist in human heels. I ascribe neither to communism or to capitalism. And as far as Soviet era despots like Lenin, Stalin, I find them utterly despicable.
Mm-hmm.
There was a great experiment in Spain in the 1930s of anarchist communities that thrived, were well educated, created a society and their own government, their own banking. Of course, they were eventually thwarted and crushed.
Of
Many
course. Yeah.
expatriated to France where they were oppressed by, the French can be very fascist when they want to be. So they were suppressed there. But anyway, there have been experiments, enthralling experiments, anarchist experiments that have been successful. But you have to have an educated populace
Right.
with a high level of understanding and perception in regard for their fellow man, the humanity of those around them.
Sure. Yep. So what happens when you go, because you went back to Memphis to record this record, your worldview and politics are probably significantly different than a lot of folks living in Memphis at the moment. Did you run into any pushback?
Well, many people in America are sleepwalking.
Yeah.
You go to Memphis, only bohemia, the underground, and artists engage in political discourse. The politicians, they move forward a political agenda. It's no longer a discord with them.
Right. Yeah.
There are black politicians, however, in Memphis, a very outspoken young black senator who I believe in very much, and so do many other people in Memphis, who has fought all the way to the War of Rebellion. And now the new generation are smart, they're articulate.
Right.
They don't take any jive, man.
Right.
They're standing up against the Elon Musk, Colossus, AI installation put in Boxtown, an all-black neighborhood that is building this AI database that is monstrous. They've got 16 gas turbines running there 24 hours a day, totally polluting a black neighborhood that was already polluted with industrial pollution. Now it's so bad, people have to wear gas masks.
Right.
They turn on the water in that part of Memphis, and it comes out dark out of the hydrant. They cannot drink it.
Right. Yeah.
These people don't care about the black community. They don't even care about the white community.
Sure.
The people in Nashville in Congress, same trip in Washington, the same Republican oligarchs, the same people trying to cash in big time on AI. It's a race war to dominate data manipulation and all that goes with AI, and they'll do anything to achieve this. Suffocate our breathing air of our communities. They will suffocate the very people living in black communities, in ethnic communities. They will savage the water supply, where water will cost more and more and more because these data centers require fresh water.
Right.
Same thing happening near Galveston, Texas right now. They're building a huge database, the largest in the United States, to try to match what China is doing.
Right.
Okay, the American Congress, they're all on board with this. The Congress in Nashville, the Congress in the state of Texas, they're all on board with this. So what can we do? What can we do when it's all money? When it's all money screaming, when it's all corporations saying, we want this technology and we're going to control you, and AI is going to control you, and we're going to take everything we can get out of you, and when you are no longer important to the regime, you will be liquidated. Because humanity, it doesn't matter. The oligarchs, we have alternative cities already being built in the Cayman Islands and elsewhere. America's an endgame. It's endgame politics now. The establishment in Washington knows that it's over in the United States. The resources, everything is geared now to sell America off for parts. So Doomsday Baby is an example of all the money corporate powers using Gaza and Palestine largely as an experiment.
Yeah.
Okay, they want to take over this strip of land. The Trump regime wants to take it over. Jared Kushner and Trump's own son and his family, they want to make a Trump Riviera out of it.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, that's one thing. Aside from the humanitarian catastrophe and the genocide and displacement of this population, but beyond this even is the fact that it is an experiment as to how corporations like BlackRock, like Elbit Systems, the arms merchants, like arms manufacturers, Leonardo in Italy, like Elbit, the Zionist arms corporation located in the United Kingdom, are making huge profits
Right.
off of munitions that they're selling to effecate this war in Gaza, in Palestine, and also sell to Ukraine and other countries, and now to Europe too. They will benefit of the EU rearming themselves insanely to go fight Russia. Okay, it's all testing ground. Like in the 1930s when they used Spain, the Third Reich, and the Red Brigade in Barcelona. Brigades in the United States went over to fight Franco's fascist regime. It was a testing ground for the Third Reich to test munitions, weapons, a testing ground for the UK to test their airplanes. That's what's happening in Gaza now. They don't care if
Right.
60,000 children are maimed
Yeah.
and murdered.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.